Hello, my lovely Leos. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Leos, we have the Village and the Empty Room, the Comic, the Poet, and the Maiden. Y'all, I was thinking about this the other night, and it was like that idea of like looking back was like this, the Sodom and Gomorrah, like looking back and turning to salt. And like, as soon as you look back, you start to turn and you're like, no, and you turn back around and you're like, no, I will not turn to salt, right? But I feel like that's kind of what we've been going through lately. It's just that like turning around, looking back and turning it to salt. Like, it's like no sooner do you look than you turn to salt. You know what I mean? And that just sending you into a state of just like wanting everybody to leave you alone. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't want anything to do with any of that. I do not have an interest in that being my life in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? I just feel like, I don't know, like I think about, well, I don't know, like I feel like I've been so villainized by people in my life where it's like they literally will do anything and everything to just tear me down in every chance they get. And if they're going to speak on my name, they're going to speak like I'm a piece of shit and that I'm crazy and that I'm, you know what I mean? And they will make me out to be like the worst human being on the face of the earth. And yet, you know what I mean? Like any job that I've worked at, I could get a shining letter of recommendation. And you know what I mean? And yet, like the people in my life know that I'm very consistent and that I always show up and I always do my best. And you know what I mean? And so it's just kind of like, but I had to separate myself from those people before I could start to experience the goodness of myself. Because if you exist in an environment where people just hate you for the sake of hating you, and that shit started way early. I remember my father-in-law, when I was still married to my husband, he used to be like, "You're not really a McCartney, are you?" You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know, it's my last name, but okay, but like we're talking about a man who is just like hates women. And he doesn't like, like he would call, when I was pregnant with my son, he would call him Taco. You know what I mean? Like he was kind of low key, like racist. I don't know. His grandmother asked me if I would dance beneath the moon, like because of my ethnicity. You know what I mean? Like these people have no, they're not, it's just like a special breed of people. And, that was my bad. I got into that situation before I even met his family, and that's a whole story. But, like going from like a mother who is like, hated me since I was born, you know what I mean? And always competed with me. And then going into the church to try and find a healthy, safe environment, only to discover that it's only healthy and safe if you adhere and you don't exist and you don't question anything. And you know what I mean? Like I wasn't even allowed to question the idea that like these people think that if you pray and you're not baptized, God doesn't hear you. Do you know what I mean? Like that level of like, wow. But those are the people who are calling me crazy. So, you do the math. But like looking back at that and thinking, maybe I can go back and heal that. Maybe I can engage in a conversation with these people and not have them attack me. But that's not possible. Do you know what I mean? And so I've had to really isolate myself in a really big way because that was my life for so long. And after doing that, I had to sort through all of the issues that came about accordingly, because you don't just escape that shit unscathed. Do you know what I mean? And Leos, I feel like whatever environment you were in, you're in an environment that was very tumultuous, that was not a fan of who you were, that wanted to tear you down every chance they could. And you loved them, so you looked back. And when you looked back, you realized why you had left in the first place. And the comic is the idea of being able to find the humor in the situation. And I feel like the comic and the poet, the poet is the idea of like being able to find the beauty in the chaos, being able to find the beauty in the pain, because I did love those people, and I did have a life that offered a lot of security and a lot of good memories. You know what I mean? Like for all of the nasty, there was a lot of beauty in that, in those people and in that family. And I loved them very much. You know, and so, you know, I'm very thankful that my boys are still able to experience that, like that good. And I'm sure they're not making it out unscathed from the bad, but at least I know that there is some good in it. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's an idea of really having to find the good in it all so that you can move forward in a direction where you don't feel like you're still trying to carry that weight and that baggage, right? Like if I can forgive myself and I can forgive them and I can say, okay, like I see this for what it is. And I know, you know, like I don't live in an extreme of they're all bad or they're fantastic, you know, and I might be an extreme to them of just like Satan on incarnate, you know what I mean? But like, but I don't have to carry that. And because I know that, I'm able to like find the beauty in it and allow for myself the opportunity to move forward in a life and create a life that I want, that I feel safe in. You know, and I can recognize very quickly when there are people who come at me in a way that is like, that is exactly what I escaped. Back the fuck up. Oh, go that way. You know what I mean? And you've practiced that, you've flexed those muscles, you've held your space, you've held your boundaries. Because of that, you are able to not only forgive yourself, but also forgive other people. And what a relief that is. You know what I mean? Like, thank God for that, right? The Wheel of Fortune. Well, things are... the Lovers. Things are turning around. You know, I just feel like there's been a lot of healing that's needed to occur. And a lot of that has had to do with the fact that we've had to escape some really like gnarly situations in our lives where if we try and go back, we would turn to salt. You know, and I think just being comfortable enough to say, like, these are all of the reasons that I can't do that. Hate me for it if you will, but I like, again, I just feel like that, like, it's not my baggage to carry anymore. And almost like this release of this baggage has really just opened the door of opportunity for you. The Two of Pentacles and the Lovers. I mean, this could very easily be a partnership, you know, or like a romantic relationship. We'll do more clarifiers, but it does feel like, what was that? Sparkle like a tween vamp. You know, but it's that idea of like I turned around and I realized all of the reasons why everything happened, how it happened, you know, like why it happened, and being able to forgive myself, I'm able to forgive these people, and I'm able to move forward. And explore what life holds for us, because Leos, we like to play, we like to have fun, we like to turn up, you know what I mean? Like, we like to, I don't know, like, I just like have a house full of people, and you know what I mean? Like, we enjoy life. We enjoy family. We love love. You know what I mean? But when you're escaping and you're healing, you go through like a very real point of isolation and a very real point of like, what is happening? Why is it happening? How did this happen? And am I supposed to hate myself in this situation? And I think for a little bit, maybe carrying a lot of self-hate until you learned how to love yourself. And then you had to, you know, like I feel like adjust your frequency, because even though you're learning to love yourself, you're still attracting those types of people to you. And, you know, sometimes it's a blessing, because when we really love people, we want to make excuses for them. But if they're people who are in that same energy that we don't even know, you know what I mean? Like, but when you can draw a comparison, then it's easier for you to like remove yourself from that, like from the venom of the village. Death, and it does, it feels like death, it feels like an ending, and like a massive ending, and yet, you know, one that's finally allowing you the opportunity to really think about what you want. You know, the Seven of Cups, kind of the idea of daydreaming and, you know, thinking about what you really want and feeling like you're kind of missing out. But even when you're missing out, you're still like, you haven't lost your ability to dream. You know, and because of that, you've been able to push through and bring healing to yourself, work on yourself, focus on, you know, developing yourself so that when it's time for you to step forward, you step forward in your full energy. You know what I mean? Queen of Wands, Vivi, yes. Because that's what we are. You know what I mean? We're fiery, we're passionate, we're leaders, we're playful, we're family oriented, you know, like that is like Leo. And I feel like we just haven't been able to exist in that for a while. Everything that we've had, you know, like drawn to us has just been very resonant of like this energy that we worked really hard to escape. And it's just been a learning process, right? Cyclical learning. But when we finally figure it out and we finally drop that baggage, we're able to stand in our power. The Desert, but I'm not ending on that. The Desert and the Pilgrim. I've been getting the Pilgrim a lot. The Pilgrim is the idea of like a journey, the journeyman, the vagabond. You know, like it can be a spiritual journey, but I do kind of feel, I mean, the desert is the idea of like a mirage. And I feel like part of that for us Leos has been that it's like, okay, but I've been learning this lesson. Like how many fucking times do I have to go through this cycle before I'm finally like where I am, where I need to be to move forward? You know, I just feel like this idea of false starts, but I also kind of want to say like, stop looking back. You know, like we just have to stop looking back because every time we look back, we pick up that baggage. Every time we look back, we turn to salt, you know, and it's just kind of like you got to let that idea, that illusion that somehow you can fix it. You got to let it go and you got to move on, you know, just got to keep it moving. Leos, I hope this resonates with us. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Please give me a like, share, and subscribe if this video does resonate, and I will see y'all again soon. Bye.